Washington will likely join a handful of other states in raising the smoking age to 21. The bill now heading to the governor's desk.
After some relatively dry weather, now we're tracking wet weather moving into the area. I'll tell you how long this rain will stick around.
You know the drill. You need a new license, so you go to the DMV and you wait. But Washington State says they may have a solution now to get you out the door faster.
And we begin tonight with breaking news out of Seattle. Police say multiple people were shot in the North Seattle neighborhood of Lake City. Seattle police took one person into custody just about an hour ago.
There are several crime scenes, they say. One of them is a bus. King County Metro says one of their drivers was shot through the window. This is aerial footage, presumably of a suspect. This is a person they're taking into custody. They were able to hit their emergency alarm, that bus driver, to call for help. Metro says 12 passengers on the bus at the time. They were not hurt. In total, at least 4 people were shot. This is still a developing story, and we will continue to update you throughout the evening.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Jane McCarthy.
And I'm Mark Hanrahan. Washington State is still trying to figure out how to properly fund public schools. Back in 2012, the McCleary decision was a major step to ensure the state of Washington spent more money on education. But
with the increase in state funding came a cap on the revenue districts can generate through local levies. Many districts depend on those to help fund education. KREM 2's Alexa Block shows us how much local levies can impact education funding.
According to a school spokesperson, Spokane Public Schools is looking at losing $43 million in local levy revenue through this school year and the next. Yes, school districts have gotten a boost of funding from the state, but for some districts it's not quite enough. And there are some big disparities between some districts' local revenue and others. Let's take a look at Washington's largest school districts, Seattle, Spokane, and Tacoma. Here's an average valued home in each city. According to Zillow's most recent home value index, the Spokane home is valued at just over $208,000. The Tacoma home is about $310,000, and that Seattle home is valued at a whopping $729,000. With a local levy cap at $1.50 per thousand, you see the Seattle home is generating more than 3 times the amount of revenue than the Spokane home each year. This is just a snapshot of the difference property values can have on funding for education, and this is in part why school districts rely so much on local levies. Alexa Block, KREM 2 News.
In other news, several Washington State Patrol troopers from Spokane are on their way to Ellensburg now. Trooper Jeff Seveny says they are going to help honor Kittitas County Sheriff's Deputy Ryan Thompson. He was shot and killed in the line of duty last week. A memorial service is planned for Deputy Thompson tomorrow at Central Washington University. It starts at 2 o'clock at Nicholson Pavilion.
A bill to raise the smoking age to 21 in Washington is headed to the governor's desk. It is likely to become law. Governor Jay Inslee previously gave the bill his support. It'll raise the legal age to buy tobacco and vape products to 21. If the governor signs it, Washington will become the 9th state to raise the smoking age to 21. Supporters say the measure will help eliminate teen smoking.
Turning to a live look outside right now, there are some clouds out there and rain starting to move in as well. Tom Sherry in the Weather Center tracking all of that for us tonight. Hi, Tom.
Yeah, the Doppler radar looks pretty busy, but I've gone outside and checked, and really we're not seeing a lot of rain falling in the Spokane area. Now, as you look to the south of us, you see those darker shades of green. That's where we are seeing some of that rain actually reaching the surface. But we've been so dry for quite a while that a lot of the precipitation, the very, very light precipitation, is actually evaporating before it hits the surface. Seeing heavy rain, though, over in areas of western Oregon and western Washington over the next 12 hours. Pretty good chance we'll see some showers between now and 7 o'clock. You can see that there with 50% chance of probability of precipitation. And then we'll get it again in the overnight hours. Overnight lows staying mild. The model says down into the low 40s, but I've got it at 36. That's still pretty good. 51 should be the expected high tomorrow. That's about near normal for this time of year. And I say rain at times, but most of it looks like it's going to fall to the north and east of us. But we'll show you the computer forecast in just a little bit. In the meantime, we always look ahead to the weekend weather. And right now, computer models are showing dry weather, 60s for both Saturday and Sunday. A look at your 10-day outlook coming up in a few minutes.
Gonzaga is fake. I'm the realest thing about this school, and I'm a guy dressed like a dog.
Yeah.
Well, like many of you on our Facebook page, we kind of felt like maybe the Jimmy Kimmel Gonzaga bit was starting to get a little overdone. But then today happened and kind of renewed our love for the rivalry.
KREM 2's Brenna Green heard the question, does Gonzaga exist, dozens of times today. She joins us live from Anaheim with that story. Brenna?
Mark, Jane, Gonzaga practiced on the court behind me today, but the main story was what was going on in the locker room, or maybe more appropriately, who was in the locker room.
You know, I don't even know who that is, to be honest.
What inspired the get up today for you?
For me to find out the truth if Gonzaga exists.
I was like, who's this guy in the Sherlock Holmes outfit? Like, I have no idea who he is.
Can you sign my ball?
Yeah. I got it right here.
It's right here. It's imaginary. Just like your school.
It was cool. You just asked some weird questions, but it's fun.
Didn't know he was going to come up to me, but I was just kind of playing this game with him, giving him some funny answers to his questions. He's kind of looking at me right now, so.
So Gonzaga is fake, right?
No, man, we're actually real.
No, it's no fake.
All right. If you need help, blink twice. Or don't blink.
It's pretty weird. You know, hopefully he gets what he needs.
Did you find the Gonzaga players' arguments convincing today about Gonzaga being real?
A little bit. There's a couple players that might convince me that Gonzaga might be real.
What convinced you?
Well, one of them told me that Gonzaga has been there for more than 100 years. I don't know if it is true or not, but it sounds like it might be true.
You mentioned you want Gonzaga to come on the show if they win the national championship.
Yeah, if they win the national championship, the whole team, you know, they can come, the coaches and everything, to prove it to everybody that Gonzaga exists. I want to wish Gonzaga good luck on Thursday, and I hope they win and they can play on Saturday.
Thank you so much, Guillermo.
No, thank you. Gonzaga!
I gotta say, this job is never, ever boring. Looking forward to seeing that full segment with Guillermo on Jimmy Kimmel. One of the players that Guillermo interviewed today was Josh Perkins, and when Josh Perkins is in the NCAA tournament, it becomes a family affair. He had plenty of support in Salt Lake City, and it looks to be a similar situation here in Anaheim. We caught up with his immediate family in SLC as Josh embarks on his final NCAA tournament.
Let's not make this the last time we kill him. Let's go win this game. We got a party.
I'm super sad that he's leaving because this was great.
Knowing that with one bounce of the ball, Josh Perkins' Gonzaga career may be over isn't always easy for the senior's stepbrother Cam, sisters Lauren and Kaylin, and dad Randy.
Anxieties. There's these layers of anxiety, you know, coming into the whole March Madness. Anxiety number one, and then to be a top seed, you know, anxiety number two, and then this possibly being his last game, definitely his last NCAA tournament, anxiety number three. So those, you combine all those layers of anxiety, it makes it a challenge to manage.
But the joys far outweigh the anxieties.
You've been able to share this experience with all your children. What has this been like with all of them being able to be around this team and kind of have this experience all together?
Well, you know, Josh coming here and being able to accomplish some of the things he has, you know, obviously the family's been with him. So with his experience, it allows the family to get those experiences as well. And it's something that no one can ever take away from us. And so that in itself is something special.
They've been able to see firsthand how Josh's college career made him special both on and off of the court.
It's crazy to see how much Josh has grown throughout the last 4 or 5 years he's been here. He's embraced a bigger of a leadership role, which is cool to see. Now he's the one leading this team. Obviously, he's been to a national championship. To see them get back there would be a big accomplishment for him. I
mean, the kid has accomplished getting his degree early. He's been on the academic all-conference the last 3 years, and then all the basketball accomplishments. Yeah, I can't find I can't find a word or words to describe, you know, how proud I am of his accomplishments.
1 million accomplishments down, one more to go.
It's almost like I was the author of the story. I mean, this is the perfect script with the one ending that we're still needing to for the final chapter, and that is to win the national championship.
That's the last goal for him. He's already done all he could here, so that's like the last thing he has to accomplish to be one of the all-time great Gonzaga point guards and players here.
Yes, he's someone to look up to.
I asked Josh's dad, Randy, during that interview what it was like to see Josh break Gonzaga's all-time assists record. He said it was a mission accomplished moment, and it felt like a bit of a relief because they could just move on to the next goal after that. Reporting in Anaheim, apologies for the buzzer, I'm Brenna Green, KREM 2 Sports.
Handled it like a pro, Brenna.
Timing
Thank
is
you very
everything.
much indeed. All right, if you are looking for a watch party for the big game tomorrow, both the Bing Crosby Theater and the Garland Theater are hosting viewing parties. Both are free to get into. That's pretty great. The doors to the Bing open at 3 and the Garland, they open at 4.
Fun. We also want to mention we will have pregame coverage before the matchup tomorrow.
That gets started at 3:30 on KREM 2. We'll be covering all things Zags from the Gonzaga University campus.
Looking forward to that. For now, up